Hey guys, Jonathan back. So we're going to talk about scholarly information, or that peer-reviewed information. This is like the gold standard of really good information. These are experts who have spent their whole life studying rigorously and performing studies on your topic or other topics that you're interested in. So these are really great things that we would want to include within our paper because it offers our paper a lot more authority. However, if you've read any of these articles, they can be very difficult because they're not really written at a level that a novice person can really understand. So I've got a couple helpful tips that I think will help you make these articles a little bit more accessible because they'll help you think about reading them in the sort of correct way. The first is thinking about scholarship as a conversation. That the article that I'm reading is not in isolation. It's in fact a response to papers that have happened in the past, and that many things in the future, including the thing that you're going to write, are going to respond to that paper. It doesn't mean that it's 100% fact. It is offering a perspective that you can respond to that's in a dialogue. So thinking about the entire context, it's important to see that entire context before I can fully understand the value of this particular paper that I'm reading. Okay? The second way is to think about what the space that experts occupy. So we have our triangle here. I want you to imagine that this triangle is a mountain. I'm not very good at drawing mountains. I can only draw a triangle, so here's a triangle. So at the top up here, we'll say this is where the experts hang out. And in fact, these experts, these scholars, they really are talking to each other. They stay up here at the top because talking to each other allows them to sort of, this is the cutting edge of research. This is where scholars hang, and this is where they're talking. All these papers are written to each other. It's the way that they're conversing. Unfortunately, we start way down here. Now, if we had a helicopter, we could drop ourselves down here, but that's not the way it's going to work. You need to work your way up to that scholarly conversation. You have to catch up with the way that they're thinking about things. Fortunately for you, there's probably some other articles like news sources or encyclopedias that are really good at helping you jump all the way up to where you can try to start understanding some of these things. If you find an article that you think is potentially really useful, but it is not something you're really understanding, there's probably some sources that can help you catch up to that conversation. And that's the kind of stuff that we're going to be looking for. And hopefully that's when you should call a librarian and help them figure out, how do I get up to this? I know that the scholarly information is really good, and I'd like to have those expert opinions. What sources are going to help me? Like there's going to be news sources or journalists or encyclopedias. Those are the things that we're going to be looking for. So answer the questions over there. That's going to be really helpful for me, again, figuring out what resources we should be using in the class and what else might work. But I think if you run across some really high quality information, don't be afraid just because it doesn't make a lot of sense right now. We can work to try to get yourself caught up to that kind of stuff because that's where the really good stuff is. All right.